Some of my favorite ways to nurture my relationship with nature include bringing offerings in the forms of song, prayer, presence, and deeply listening to what the earth might have to say. I love communing to the same areas in nature frequently to get to know a place in different seasons, and it creates this altar-like experience where I routinely empty myself in a certain place and receive the purity and wisdom of the elements around me. Remembering that we are a part of it all, that we are moving, changing, primal things with nature is a truth that calms me to my core. I feel so grateful to get to experience this earth as a doorway back home. So let's have a little adventure together. Hello, my fellow earth angels. I just wanted to share a weekend in the woods with you and what I get up to, what are my earth angel activities while camping. And I already feel high. Sometimes when I get into nature, it takes me a while to slow my thoughts down or to drop in, but we had a semi-strenuous walk in and I feel like that just dropped me right into my body, and I'm just feeling so present with all of the sensations of being outside in nature, and just so grateful to have a little dopamine detox, no screen time, no, intense stimulation, just being with the slowness and the rhythms of nature. But we're collecting some firewood and some kindling. We're struggling because everything is really wet. I love a good crackle.
I love
I love a good crunch and a good crackle.
Like, imagine seeing fire for the first time.
Oh my god.
You're just like, what the fuck is that?
What the fudge? It must have been so interesting discovering everything about the world.
Everything just is better, basically, because
It's new.
it's new and you're like, my life has changed now, moving forward.
Can you imagine just every single day your tribe eating a different plant and then you're like, whoa, that's good. And it's like, uh-oh, Bob died.
I know, dude, like, my friend just died. He's like a mushroom.
But I think that we have such a rigid idea of love that it really doesn't help us at all.
It's like we're starting off with very limited information that's mostly not actually real information, because
I
it's
know.
based off of like rom-coms or like media.
Who created that trope of like romance being so one-dimensional? But I would watch a movie where there isn't some intense shit going on and people are just like learning things about themselves and falling in and out of love, and it's casual, and as like a example of how potentially you can react to the world. I just finished up my nighttime routine. It's about 7:30, but it feels like 10, and this is why I love sleeping in nature, because your circadian rhythms so easily get aligned with nature, and I'm just ready to pass out in the next hour, but I have some activities. First, my journal, which is kind of ridiculous to bring this in a pack and add extra weight, but I'm so excited to journal my thoughts and paint. I also brought a little watercolor set. I brought my Kindle, which I just finished reading a series, so I'm really excited to dive into some nonfiction books that I downloaded. We're just gonna get cozy, do a little evening meditation, and I just feel so grateful. I am truly forest bathing right now and I feel so cleansed, but I wanted to share the sponsor of today's video. In honor of Earth Day, I just wanted to share a brand that I thought was really in alignment with my beliefs and my ethos, and one of the simplest ways to be more eco-conscious is by using a reusable water bottle, but this is a Lark water bottle. It's the world's first self-cleaning water bottle that uses built-in UVC light purification technology to eradicate 99.9% 99% of bacteria, giving access to clean drinking water anywhere and making the bottle 10,000 times more hygienic than regular reusable water bottles, which is wild. It keeps drinks cold for 24 hours and drinks hot for 12 hours. And if you are camping near some kind of water source that you don't trust, you can fill up your bottle and double tap the button on the top to put it in adventure mode for a longer cleaning process. It purifies the water longer, making it safe to drink. And personally, when I'm using this most is in my day-to-day, especially while traveling or in cities where there are even tap water options available as like the only thing that you can drink. And then of course, when I'm in nature, I really love drinking water fresh from the source, but making sure that bacteria and other things that I don't want growing inside of my body are not in there. So I just love this water bottle. It's really sleek and I have been able to fit it anywhere, and I just trust wherever I'm drinking from so much more because I know that I can filter it. Also, this battery is incredible. It lasts so long. So that's just another cool thing about it, is that it will last you all day and you don't have to worry about constantly recharging it. But this is Lark. Please check them out in the description box if you're curious in the market for a new water bottle. They also have another option with a filter in the straw that uses a carbon filter to eliminate lead, heavy metals, chlorine, and particulates. The Pure Vis and filter caps are interchangeable, so you can use either one depending on what you need. And the straw one, I think, is mainly what I used in New York because those were the things I was more focused on getting rid of in the city areas. But having access to clean drinking water is so important, and Lark just makes it a little bit more accessible. So please check them out if you're interested. For breakfast this morning, we have some oats with vanilla protein powder, almond butter, maca powder, dates, banana. It's so good. It's one of my favorite things to eat while camping. Just some tummy coating oats.
Oatmeal is a way of life.
Oh my goodness, the sun is fully out. I'm putting on some sunscreen and we're gonna go to this little river and swim. Every time I embark into nature, I have this routine intention of entering into the nothingness. It really feels like I'm emptying myself of all of the information that I'm constantly taking in and of any perceived ideas of who I am and who I'm supposed to be. So just really clearing myself, and then on the other hand, thinking really critically about my life and my decisions. And it really feels like a portal for deep listening. So I always have my little art activities and I allow for whatever is feeling the most real in my mind to kind of unravel itself until I find a space, which usually happens after 24 hours, where I have little to no thoughts and nothing left to kind of scribble out. It really is one of the biggest rituals in my life, and it just feels like my whole body, soul, and spirit know exactly what to do when I'm alone in nature. It's like, oh, this beautiful thing is taking place once again, where I get to rest into the realest parts of myself and be held in the most pure energy. It's been raining on and off today, and I love when it rains and the sun is shining, but I'm taking cover under this rock. I decided to walk back to our little camp spot to get some more snack rations, and I just love being on this little journey with myself, this journey called life. I love reflecting. I love that my mind is malleable. I love that I'm forever a student and everything in life is my teacher. I've been really reflecting a lot on relationships and how they reveal so much about you. Like, it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, to be deeply seen, and relationships are just the purest reflection. They can reveal to you all the walls that you have up against love. They can reveal your own neurosis to you, all your insecurities, all of your fears, and we're all on this journey with our minds and the way that our minds operate. That alone is like a whole medicine journey. Just actually listening and witnessing your mind is a trip. Everything feels like a practice for me to return home, even letting myself be loved, even loving others. And I just think that it takes so much courage to put your heart out there, to potentially be broken and to be changed, because I feel like when you're loving, you are allowing yourself to be changed by someone else and some experience. I just feel like any sensitive points, any pain points are, when you're really listening, they're just there to teach you so much. I was feeling really sensual and whole this day, and I wanted to share a journal entry that I wrote. I love my experience of beinghood, that small moments of safety make my younger self delight, that love letters written in the 1900s satisfy both my heart and mind, that I can view the world and see what needs to be brought into balance, that it doesn't take much at all to please me. When you have your mind in a state of allyship, you can delight in the wonders of your imagination and take everything into your senses as a curious experience, asking questions typically reserved for the minds of children, such as, how does the color blue make me feel? When I touch here on my body, what do I see in my mind's eye? What is the subject matter of the songs of birds? Perhaps the mind is much more innocent than we think. In my mind, I am crafting meticulously a wonderful garden in the woods for my consciousness to roam free whenever it needs. Gosh, I made this too raging. Dinner is served. Yum. Ooh, a little garnish because we're fancy. Wow. This is our breakfast this morning. These are little oat, almond butter, banana, date crumbles. Basically our oatmeal, but we decided to put it on rice cakes for some reason. And they're going to be a little dry, a little dusty, but I'm excited. And then I also am going to make a version with this vegan tuna on a rice cake with some tomato. But yeah. This might be my favorite meal we've had. Besides your cauliflower puffs. That was like a whole meal. We ate that.
That's all for post. That is the downfall of rice cakes. They're like hella fucking ashy. They just like burst into flames.
I know.
Burst into a rice cake frenzy.
It's like drywall. Hello, we have packed up our campsite and are sad to be leaving because this just feels like our existence now, where we just reside in this little thick of the woods. But we've been pretty moist for the past 24 hours. Everything that we own is like slightly damp, so it will feel nice to have a hot shower and be dry. I actually don't even sleep when I'm camping. Like, I cannot actually get into a deep slumber. I just am actually pretty sleep deprived. Maybe it's the energy of nature. I know for sure I was sleeping on a thick branch or a root and it was digging into my shoulder and I couldn't find a good place to be comfortable. So I need to get a little sleeping mat. I think that will change the game. I'm finally home and freshly showered, still smelling like a fire though, which is one of my favorite scents in the whole world. And I have my mic clipped to my hair, but I just wanted to read some prayers to you that I wrote down this past weekend. I have this little pocket actually in my journal with tons of little affirmation cards, and I will randomly pick one and read it. And I just collect things in my life that feel really resonant and put them inside of my manifestation journal. I painted it this weekend, but dear Great Spirit, please let me use all of myself here on earth. Please help me to put down my judgment, my overthinking, my comparison, my self-critiquing, so that I may use this mind and body to create new worlds of love, so that I may be with others and see only their trying heart, so that I may learn in every way how to source freedom for myself and others. Please help me to continue to wake up to my life's purpose and share the genuine love I came here to. And I just have this immense feeling of wanting to explore it all and be used in entirety. You know, any gift that I might possibly have, any word that I could possibly speak, I want it to be spoken, I want it to be expressed and explored, because this human life is just so precious, and I don't want to put any limitations on myself in any way, shape, or form. And I just want to use this fleeting time. And I think I'm doing it just in each now moment, just by being present. I feel like that alone is revealing everything to me. And that's just my prayer, to continue putting down all this need for control, this unintentional taking on of other people's dharma just over and over again, releasing and only claiming what is actually true in that moment. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm actually quite delirious, but it reminds me of this one quote from Chekhov that's like, if my life is ever of any use to you, come and claim it. And that's kind of how I feel like I'm communicating with spirit, like, and the world. If my life is of any use to you, please reveal to me how and what and where and when, and I will show up. But on this note, I will bid you, but on that note, I will bid you adieu. Is that the way to say it? But on that note, I will bid thee good night, farewell. Thank you for joining me on this cozy little weekend. I hope that you can find a little pocket of nature just to be with yourself intimately. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Anywhere where you can hug a tree and sit on a little bit of grass and feel the timelessness. Create a sacred space for yourself to be present. Thank you once again to Lark for sponsoring this video. If you would like to check out their water bottles, it'll be the first link in the description below. And until I see you next, please take some deep belly breaths. Please continue to believe in your miracles and believe in all the possibilities that you feel in your heart and in your soul. And I'll see you very soon, I hope. Good night.